Welcome back. Fact, it is way too early to talk about the 2028 presidential campaign. However, President Trump kind of peeled back some of his thinking, whether it's in front of the curtain or behind the curtain, in the Fox Super Bowl interview when asked about his vice president, J.D. Vance's political future. Listen.
Vice President J.D. Vance as your successor, the Republican nominee in 2028?
No, but he's very capable. I mean, I don't think that I think you have a lot of very capable people. So far, I think he's doing a fantastic job. It's too early.
Deepa Shivaran and Leanne Caldwell join us now. Deep is a White House correspondent for NPR. Leanne, Chief Washington correspondent at Puck News. I'm a subscriber and pleased to say that. All right, let's chew over this very quickly. Leanne? So is it too early because the president keeps listening to House Republicans who say he can have a third term, a consecutive second term?
Well, he did joke the other day.
I'm not sure it's a joke, kids.
We don't know. We will see if it's a joke. Yeah. There's a lot of capable people, including Donald Trump, to run in 2028. But look, we know that Donald Trump tests loyalty, and loyalty is one-way street and incredibly important to him. We saw what happened to his last vice president, Mike Pence.
Yep.
And so I think that maybe Donald Trump is not wanting to endorse with only 21 days into his term.
Right, and was quick to just say no, period.
No, period,
no was the full sentence there, and just completely jumped to saying, well, there's a lot of other options too.
In part because by creating that atmosphere of aspiration, Trump is signaling to other Republicans, your loyalty to me will be a litmus test in this conversation.
It's currency. I mean, to Leanne's point,
exactly. It's
fully currency to him. And again, to Leanne's point as well.
Commoditizing political loyalty.
Early in this administration, and he's got a long runway here to gain some of that currency with some members of Congress, with some that he, maybe hasn't worked with in the past, or ones that he's wanting to build up that relationship with. They obviously have a majority in the House and in the Senate, but with Trump, he really sees it as part of his political game.
And Leanne, you are with Puck. You have written a very toothy piece, if you will. That's a compliment.
Thank you.
About what Mitch McConnell may or may not do. Now, there is a sort of implication that he will oppose certain Trump nominees, but he's in no position to sink them. It doesn't look like any of them are going to be denied confirmation. What is his real role in these next couple of months as a backbencher with influence?
Yeah, backbencher with influence. He no longer has to what he calls the spear catcher for his conference. He does not have to, listen or take into consideration what his members think. So what he is trying to do is he has put himself in charge of defense appropriations, defense spending, and he is trying to ensure that the isolationist movement of the Trump Republican Party does not succeed. And so he wants to not only maintain a strong defense, but expand a strong United States military. And he is going to do everything in his power to do that. And that's a reason why he did not vote for Pete Hegseth as nominee, not only because it had nothing to do with all the alleged personal digressions. No.
Thin resume.
Right. Thin resume. He did not think that he was qualified to lead a massive department at a critical time in this country, and he also didn't support his isolationist ideology either.
So, Deepa, on this larger question of the White House's orientation to the House and the Senate, as I gather it from a slight distance, House and Senate Republicans keep asking the president, please tell us what you want us to do. And he keeps saying, figure it out yourselves, gentlemen, gentle ladies, and they're still having a hard time figuring that part out.
It does feel like they're kind of moving in circles a little bit. Like there is a dog chasing the tail kind of a situation. And then the president, will make it really, clear to him what he wants, but that's not exactly translating, I guess, across Pennsylvania Avenue. And the list is long, but also very specific, right? He talks a lot about wanting to, focus on the border. Things like that have been top of mind, especially if you're, working at the White House and you end up in the Oval Office at one of these longer Q&A sessions that the president holds. It could be about any given topic, and he'll bring it back to that. So there's a long list and an expensive one at that.
And Leanne, in essence, what the president wants is whatever gets the requisite votes. However you do it.
Yeah, absolutely. He doesn't care how it is done at all. He does not care about boundaries and requirements or whatever. But yeah, Speaker Johnson wants Donald Trump to come in and tell everyone how it's going to be.
Right, exactly. Do this and do it this way.
And he's not going to do it right now anyway. He does not care
Because
how it gets
Deepa,
done.
it seems to me that Speaker Johnson keeps articulating that, though in a very quiet voice. If you don't do it, Mr. President, I can't be your hammer, so I can't find the votes I need to move your agenda forward. So put the hammer down,
Right.
give it to me.
Right.
And the president's like, Mike, have you figured it out yet?
No, that's for sure. And I think the president is one who wants to assign that task out, right? And just kind of have it get done. And clearly hasn't really moved the needle on that quite yet.
Deepa Shivaram, Leanne Caldwell, always a pleasure. Thanks for
Thank
being
you.
here.